Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. On this one we're going to be installing the PowerTune digital dash in the R32. I've had this part for so long, finally get to install it, so let's get right into it.
Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, get the air. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him like and run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage. I got
Cool, so anyone that's unfamiliar, PowerTune digital dashes, they're pretty popular amongst drifting and like track cars for all sorts of things. They're super simple, really simple. I got the GPS model, so you can do all sorts of cool things with this, like logging your speeds around the track and that sort of thing. There's a bracket to mount it on, and then this is the actual dash here. So it's just like a little tablet kind of thing, and it's got inputs and whatnot, and you can, it's fully customizable, so you can put different wallpapers on it and change all the gauges and whatnot. It's really cool, and it's like a fraction of the price of some of the other brands, i.e. the Haltech one, so expensive. So this is the cheap option, but works really well, and it's probably better, to be honest. And it works on CAN bus, so for the wiring it's only 2 wires, CAN high and CAN low, and yeah, like, excited to wire it. And then for the power input, it has, because I was thinking, I was like, shit, does this thing take 12 volts? It's got this little converter, and it drops it down from 12 volts down to 5 volts, so that's cool. We'll wire that in, and yeah, it's going to go into the R32 dash just there, right there. So I've got a couple of wires here for it, the fuel sender wire and the the fuel, I'm not sure where the fuel sender wire has to go, and then I got a power wire there for it. And yeah, I made heaps of progress on the wiring yesterday. I'll just quickly show you that. So it still looks like a massive rat's nest under here, but I have made like major progress. The switchboard's done, all this is pretty much done. There's a couple of wires that I still haven't finished yet, but for the most part it's all wired in. It just looks crazy because I haven't like made it all neat into one loom, but it's going to run across the top there and then down to the side here where this fuse box and relays will be sitting. And yeah, I've just got a couple of other wires to figure out that don't know if I need them or not yet, because it's got the CAN bus, and these are the CAN bus wiring. So once I suss that out, that's done, tidy it up and mount. And yeah, I thought I was never going to get this wiring done, hey, but I just chipping away at it. I spent a fair few hours on it yesterday getting it sorted. And then in the boot, just quickly, I've done a fair bit of work on this. I just haven't been filming it because it's stuff that's like hard to film because it's pretty boring, to be honest. And yeah, I got the fuel system all bolted down, all tightened up, and all the hoses made. So this one here's a breather, it goes down the bottom there, and it's got a filter on it. The wiring's done for the sender, wiring's done for the pumps, wiring's done for the relay box. And yeah, I've just got to make it look a bit neater, because obviously all these are just running across here to the battery, which is now mounted as well. The fuel cell's mounted, it's all pretty much done in the boot here, which is freaking sick. Yeah, so last thing, we've got the dash to go, tidy up the wiring, and then we can test the wiring, which is going to be terrifying. Yeah, so let's mount this dash, and then I'll tell you the other shit later, because the dash is the cool bit. Let's get into that. Alright, excuse all the mess, but basically this is all wired up, ready to go into the car. You got your CAN high, CAN low here, and these colours are different to what's on the Haltech, so they might be the same as a Link, I don't know. But mark down which one you put high and which one you put low on there, obviously. Everything's like engraved. It looks like it's like everything's made by a 3D printer. It's pretty freaking cool. So then you got your GPS module that like clips in here with a little fitting, and little jumper wires that go around to onto those terminals there, but it's all pretty self-explanatory really. And then we got positive and negative here. The ground's green, don't mind that, I ran out of black, and the red, that will go into the one that's in the car. The GPS will get mounted. And for the bracket, the mounting bracket, I was mucking around. I made like a custom piece of metal plate that is here, that was going to mount onto here, but I changed that because it wasn't going to work out properly, and I used the hose clamp. It sounds dodge and shit, but it actually works mint. The hose clamp pulls down and it goes square, and it pulls it down perfectly tight, and that's exactly where it needs to sit, because the actual plastic dash, it doesn't fit between that gap there, which sucked. So yeah, now I'm going to mount it in there and hopefully it fits. Bam, check it out. How sick is that? Perfect positioning. Worked out way better than I imagined. So yeah, hose clamp straight around here onto the bracket, and it fits just underneath in that gap there. Just perfect. And then the hose clamp ugly part is actually hidden up around under there, so you can't actually see the ugly hose clamp. It's really cool. And then I just got to chuck the wires in behind there and run the CAN bus wire across to this side. And then yeah, this is a temporary steering wheel. I just flogged it out of Xavier's shed just to make sure it was in the right position. So that looks freaking cool. I can't wait to turn it on and have a play around. Well, progress has been made. Dash is mounted, fully sick. I'm about to turn it on. So this is where shit gets really scary, because yeah, I go through these waves of confidence where I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is freaking easy. Like, this wire goes to here, that wire goes to there, you know, red and black, what could go wrong? And then like, all of a sudden you got a full-on rat's nest like this. And yeah, pretty much think I know what I'm doing. Anyway, the dash wiring, the way to wire it in, you have, on my Haltech ECU, I have a wiring specialties harness as well. So if you have that, it'll be the same as this, where there's a little patch lead that comes off, and it has this branch here with the orange and green, and that's your CAN bus wires. So you link them up to your high and low on your dash. This wire comes from the dash. High and low, same as what we were talking about before. It doesn't matter which colors, just as long as that end's high, low, and then it lines up with this end, the high, low. Which if you have a look at this diagram here, it's got what high and low color code is on that plug there. And yeah, so the next difficult thing was to figure out the fuel sender. I didn't really think about it too much on how a fuel sender works, but stock, it goes to your dash, and the dash, just the light comes on and the level and everything is on your dash. But I was just thinking I'll just run it to the ECU and the ECU will tell the dash, which is what it is, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. And also I didn't realize that the sensor has a sensor ground, not the sensor grounds to the chassis. Don't do that. It does say that in the wiring diagram, but I didn't really click onto it until now. So it says do not wire sensor grounds to chassis. What that means is on your ECU loom there is this same little plug here. There's a sensor ground wire, and on mine it's blue and green. This wire has to go from here to your fuel sender over there onto the ground pin, and that comes to here, and then it goes to the ECU, and then the other wire that goes back to that fuel sender is the 5-volt wire here, which is yellow and green. So run another wire from here back to there, so you got 2 wires, where the mistake I had is I had the ground at that end on the fuel sender going just to the chassis, so don't do that. It needs to come to the ECU. Once you get that sorted, there's also on this, there is a ground. So there's a black one that says ground, and that goes to your ground, and this is like my neutral bar or ground bar, and then it goes to a good earth under there, a good ground point up under there. So yeah, I pretty much don't need these. These are like analog inputs or outputs, and I don't even know much about that, but I don't think I'm gonna need it, so I'm just gonna leave that to the side. This is looking really messy, but not to fear. It actually is looking really good. So my fuse box is here. I've kind of been contemplating on taking out all the fuses and just putting in one at a time. So if something goes wrong, it's not major, but then again, the fuse box is there to like stop things from going wrong, so I think I might just send it, but I'm pretty nervous because, like, yeah, I've got confidence in it, but at the same time I'm not that confident because, like, there's so many wires here that just aren't going anywhere that the Wiring Specialties loom would normally plug into your stock fuse box, but I don't have that in this situation. I got rid of all that shit when it would have been a lot easier if I kept it. But what I'm thinking is all these wires here that are meant to be going into the dash for the stock dash, instead all my sensors and all my inputs, sensor inputs, are all going into the ECU, and the ECU is sending all that data through the dash just from the two CAN bus wires. So from a theory point of view it makes sense, but let's turn it on and see if it works. This is hectic shit. Here, relays and fuses. I've just taken the fuses out because I don't want the fuel pumps to come on yet while I'm just testing the dash. I've got my main earth down here, and then there's earths that go around to the pumps and whatnot. I need to run an earth from here through to the block of the engine because that's like the way you're supposed to do it. It just makes it that much better. The battery's been mounted in here. The fuel cell has been mounted. All the fittings are tight. We are good to go. Yeah, so I'm just going to hook up the ground here to the negative terminal. Not going to lie, this is pretty hectic. Jokes, that was not hectic because I've got to hit the isolator switch for the power to come on. That's going to be hectic. Alright. Oh, what? We got lights on the dash? They shouldn't be on. I wonder why they're on. That means I got power backfeeding through. Shit, I don't know if I want to turn it on now. I'm just going to turn the switch and see what happens. Oh shit, man, we got a red light here. Ignition. Do I want to turn it? I don't want... Oh man, oh, the dash has come on, thank fuck. I didn't have to hit the ignition button. Shit me. How sick is that? Holy shit! That's so cool, man. Wow, we have power. So I doubt anything will be working at the moment because yeah, you've got to set up some settings in here. Holy shit, this is freaking gang shit, man. Oh my. Sorry, I'm pretty excited about this. This is like sick. What do you got? Air temp, boost, battery voltage, lambda, I don't know what that is, fuel pressure, obviously tacho, it's in race mode of course, water, oil temp, oil pressure, kilometers, that'll be for ethanol for flex fuel sensor I guess. Yeah man, this is some sick shit. Sick shit. Really sick shit. This is so cool. Not sure about the lights that are LEDs that are coming on the dash. I think because LEDs don't require much power at all to come on, so I think they like are just coming on from that. Let's see if the wipers work. Nah, not the wipers, I'll scratch the shit out of everything. Left and right blinkers. No. Or you go to network and you hook up the Wi-Fi, and then I've got to change this so that it goes to yeah, I've got to change this to Haltech. Wow, this is all the ECUs it supports. It's right at the top. Haltech, and then 1 megabits per second. That's what you need to set it to for it to work. And then speed, I might go GPS speed because yeah, we got the GPS hooked up, boys. Now that's applying. So I just connected it to the Wi-Fi and then press update, and she's going. So it looks like the matrix is happening. But yeah, that's gonna do its update and whatnot. Not sure why these LEDs come on like as soon as you turn the key on. Like, I'm gonna have to fault find a bunch of stuff. Like, not many things work. The wipers work and the dash works, and it sounds like the ignition is gonna work. Headlights no go, blinkers no go, brake lights no go. That's pretty much everything. So gotta suss out a couple of things, but that's why I left all the wiring that way, so that I can easily like get to everything and not have to like pull apart all the tape and whatnot like that. So yeah, I'll fault find everything, I'll get it all sorted, and then I'll make it all nice with like some of this really cool loom wrapping. I don't know what the proper name is for it, but it's pretty late at night here, so it's just rebooted. I'm just gonna have a play around with this, and then I'm gonna plug in the laptop to the Haltech and see if I can have a look in there. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can have a look and see if it's ready for like first start sort of shit. Man, everything's just getting a bit crazy now. If you have any tips from anything you've seen on these videos to give me a hand, please do help out where you can, or send me links and stuff, because I've got no idea what I'm doing. Just trying to wing it basically. But this dash is so sick, man. These dashes are freaking awesome. Look at that. That's some pimp shit. And for the price, like, it's so good. So happy with the dash. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, as always. Drop some comments below. And if you're new here to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Heaps of freaking awesome videos. The video after this is going to be like a recap of the whole year. And man, some cool moments in there. I forgot how much shit has happened this year. It's been sick. So thanks for riding with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the new year.